Hey guys, welcome back to another reaction video. You guys gonna be checking out this very emotional historical video of Croatia, and it is titled Sage of Dubrovnik, something I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, it says shocking footage of city under fire, Croatia War of Independence, 1991. You guys, it's gonna be a very emotional one after reading the history of what happened that very day. Okay, so thank you so much for tuning in. If you're seeing me for the first time, please like this video, subscribe, and let's check this out. Okay. Oh my god.
Nobody ever thought the old city would be damaged. It's the same way that one thinks of Venice or Paris or Canterbury.
It was early Saturday morning when the battle for Dubrovnik intensified. Tanks and heavy guns of the Serbian-dominated Federal Army pouring in fire from their positions in the surrounding mountains.
Oh, you guys. Okay, this is actually between Serbia and Croatia. Okay, so I don't know, but according to him, he said the bomb was pouring in from Serbia. Wow. Oh my god.
The majority of the city's population took to the underground shelters.
The
But
ground
those who
shelter.
ventured outside witnessed a coordinated land, sea and air attack on their city. Once again, the main target for the Federal Army guns was the Napoleonic fort on Mount Serge above Dubrovnik, the Croatian defenders' most vital position. Federal Navy ships appeared offshore to join the attack. These ships appeared offshore to join the attack. It was not a totally one-sided exchange. Here, mortars fired out from the city, falling just short of Federal gun batteries hidden in trees on top of Mount Jakovica. But the Federal forces were able to use helicopters to spot targets for their superior firepower. Dubrovnik under fire from the sea and from the air. MiG jets now trying to knock the Croatians from their perch on top of Mount Serge. The bombs fell wide of their target. The fort, still intact, opened up with anti-aircraft fire. There was a notable success for the Croatian defenders when their guns hit the nearest Federal artillery battery on Mount Jakovica, igniting an ammunition dump. But their celebrations were cut short as stray bullets ricocheted around the ramparts of the old city. Shells falling into Dubrovnik's main harbour hit one of the ferries that had been unable to leave port because of the naval blockade. It was now impossible for the thousands trapped here to escape the bombardment. Threats of sanctions have made no difference to the Federal Army. If anything, the fighting has escalated since the latest European Community ultimatum. In Dubrovnik Hospital, most of the casualties were suffering from wounds caused by flying shrapnel. More than half have been civilians. The gunboats appeared to have targeted a Croatian gun post alongside the seafront Belvedere Hotel. The hotel, which had been a home for hundreds of refugees, was all but destroyed by the shelling. Saturday ended as it had begun, with the sound of artillery fire echoing around the old city. Sunday morning in Dubrovnik's Gothic cathedral, they prayed for peace. For many of the congregation, this was the first time in days they dared to venture out of the bomb shelters. But outside, no respite from the bombardment. Indeed, the cross on top of Mount Serge almost toppled by an exploding shell. Federal Navy frigates appeared off the old city, firing at will, safely out of range of the defenders' smaller guns. For hours, shells rained on Mount Serge and its battered fort. But some fell short, and others dropped into the old city itself. Until now, the Federal forces have concentrated their attack on areas outside the old city, but now their mortars are falling inside the ancient walls. One exploded through the roof of a house built 4 centuries ago. In all, 4 mortars fell inside the city walls that day, shrapnel exploding into the convent. The tranquility of the 14th century Franciscan monastery, home of Europe's oldest apothecary, was also shattered. As Friar Josu Sopter tried to tell us about the damage to the monastery, his words were drowned by another attack.
Ooh.
Tuzna said.
As the federal troops closed in, the few residents left on the streets took what cover they could. This woman had risked her life to rescue her dog from its kennel in the old harbour. A day that started with prayer ended with pitched battles in the hilltops.
Oh my God. This is so sad. This is so sad. When he said a day that started with prayer ended with pitch battle. You guys, 1991. This is when it happened. This should be 30 something years, you know, and this is so hard. And this woman actually risked her life just to save her dog. Wow. That's serious.
Monday and the famous Straden, Dubrovnik's main street, deserted in preparation for the inevitable resumption of this one-sided battle.
Oh.
Residential areas devastated, with shells falling closer and closer to the old city.
No. Oh my God, it's just running.
Striking its medieval walls.
Wow.
Down the centuries, Dubrovnik's citizens have defied would-be invaders. Now their old ramparts face 20th century war machines. But at least the walls offered some protection. Outside, there was no escape.
Outside there's... Ooh! Oh my God. Ooh!
The Grand Hotel, probably Dubrovnik's finest, ablaze. But this was just a foretaste of the destruction that was to follow as the federal forces closed in. Tuesday morning, and the attack everyone had feared, but most secretly believed could never happen.
Oh.
A deliberate and sustained assault on the old city.
Oh.
This was not a case of shells going astray, it was a calculated decision to irreparably damage a city that is in its entirety a protected monument. Some
Wow.
shells appeared to bounce off the 100-foot-high walls, but others crashed into the city.
Oh my God. He said it was a calculated strategy, a calculated plan to destroy a full entire city. Wow. Wow.
The Federal Army is now using Soviet-made wire-guided missiles against walls first built to keep out arrows and spears.
Woo! Oh my God! Woo!
Missiles landing in the old port set boats and buildings ablaze. Among the witnesses to the attack was Britain's consul to Dubrovnik, Sarah Maraika, whose husband is Croatian.
Nobody ever
The brink.
that the old city would be damaged. It's the same way that one thinks of Venice or Rome or Paris or Canterbury. The implicit the old city was in bad, and now it's been sort of staggered entirely. No, this was built as a city.
Five shells as you've been talking.
And that's quite minimal, isn't it, compared to what we have gone through on each day.
From the terrace of the Hotel Argentina, the European community observers also watched the destruction, powerless to intervene.
They're shooting for
But they were forced to run for shelter when mortars fell around their hotel. The observers spent hours pinned down by mortars exploding outside. Plans to evacuate their team by sea had to be postponed because of the raging battle. In the hotel bar, scenes reminiscent of London's East End during the Blitz. The locals singing traditional songs to drown the noise of the guns. Britain's consul joining in this attempt to keep up spirits in spite of everything. But a few hundred yards away, the destruction continued, hour after hour. When the Serbian-led federal forces first laid siege to Dubrovnik 6 weeks ago, they warned the Croatian garrison to surrender or face the consequences. Few people in the world would have realized that this was what they meant by consequences. The city they called the Pearl of the Adriatic. Its history and its beauty attracted tourists from around the world. Now its ancient structures lit up by flames as its citizens await the next onslaught. Wednesday and Thursday the fires still burnt, but at least a respite from the fighting. Only now there was another agony. A ceasefire broken by the EC observers allowed the evacuation of women, children and the wounded. But only 1,600 could go. On the dockside they queued, waiting to discover who would be allowed to board the ferry and who had to stay. Families separated. No way of knowing when they would see their homes again, or how many of the husbands and sons left behind would survive. Paul Davis, News at 10, Dubrovnik.
Wow. You guys, this is a very sorrowful one. Family were separated, knowing how many of their husbands, how many of their sons are going to, survive this. And you guys, according to the person giving out, the brief, he said that the Serbian told them that they were going to suffer the consequences. So the consequences is taking down the most generating revenue for the city, because that is where the tourists, most people come to tour in Croatia, right? And you could see a lot of people wounded. But where I was like, these guys, they have a lot of mind, is where they, the man was actually talking and he was smiling. That didn't really go well on me, knowing fully father, I'm hearing the sounds of bombs, and the way I was seeing them throw the bomb, like the way the bombs were coming, it looks so like, I don't know, but I felt some kind of way. You guys. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the comment section. Please like, subscribe and share. Thank you.